I would have said, they're landed, they're safe. This is 4 years ago, before we start. I would have said, I would have walked in, I would have said, we're not giving you the $150 billion. Do you understand me? We're not giving you the $150 billion. Okay. But because of the fact, hey, I went to the Wharton School of Finance, but my father was still a better teacher. So, and they were great, but he's the best. So now, I would have said to you, now I go in differently. I'd say, fellas, we got a problem. We're bust. The country has no money. We owe $19 trillion. $19 trillion. The horrible omnibus deal that was signed, can you believe that deal? The horrible deal that was signed recently, it's going to bring us up to $21 billion. We don't have the money. I'm so sorry. I want to give it to you so badly. We don't have $150 billion. We don't have $150 billion. And here's what's going to happen. We're going to leave. We're going to double up the sanctions. They're going to call us again. We're going to start. We've just gotten our prisoners back 4 years ago, and we've just gotten out of giving them $150 billion. And it's so simple. And by the way, that's not like 80% sure, 95, 98.7, 100%. We'd get the prisoners back, right? And we get the money. We're never going to give them the money. They would never get the money. I feel so badly that we gave them $150 billion. And the sad part is, if I win, I don't get that money back, but I'll find out a way to get it back. I will find out a way. I find it. Okay, I find it. So the new thing is this. The new thing is, how do we stop Trump? Everyone's trying to figure out how to stop Trump. You know, we have a divided country, folks. We have a terrible president who happens to be African American. There has never been a greater division, just about, than what we have right now. The hatred, the animosity. I will bring people together. I'm going to bring people together. You watch. We're going to bring people together. We're going to bring our jobs back from China and all of these other countries that have taken our jobs, and Mexico. And we're going to bring people together, folks. We're going to bring them together. Okay? It's sort of exciting, isn't it? Sort of exciting, right? Sort of exciting, in all fairness. All right, look, we're going to bring people together. We're going to bring jobs back. We're going to bring a lot of things, and we're going to unify the country because our country is terribly divided. In so many ways, our country is divided. So we want to be You have to say it is exciting, though, right? This is not like your normal, low-key, really boring rally that nobody cares about. Nobody cares. Look at all those cameras back there, folks. Look at all those. You know how many cameras you have for other people? Like maybe none. Like maybe none. Look at all of that. And I love the way they twist and turn and get into those little corners where you have the protesters. Because for us, when I tell them, please turn your camera and show this massive crowd, right? They would never do it. They would never do it. Never do it. Go ahead, turn the cameras, folks. Turn the cameras. Go ahead. Turn the cameras. See that? They don't even move. They don't even move. Honestly, they're disgusting. We had a thing not so long ago near Massachusetts, which was so great. Did you see? Well, it helped that Tom Brady loves me. I will say that. That helped. I mean, if Tom Brady loves you and you don't win Massachusetts by a landslide, you're not doing a very good job, right? We love Tom Brady. But we had a thing where we had an arena. We had 12,000 people. Bernie Sanders, the same exact hour, had 3,000 people at a different site. The next day, they talked about how big the crowds were for Bernie Sanders. And I said, wow, that's unfair. That's really unfair. All right, you ready? Can the protesters stop for a couple of seconds so we can talk here? Just for a couple of seconds. Give us, like 5 minutes, and then you can protest again, because I'm so proud of selling out this place. This place is crazy. By the way, and I have to say this, we really sold it out twice, because the people that were told, I'm sorry, we can't get you in, are more than what we have inside. So we really sold it out twice, which is pretty amazing. All right. So now the move by guys like Choker Mitt. I call him Choker. He's a choker. He chokes. You know, when somebody chokes, we all play sports, a lot of us. Usually, don't admit if you are, but usually if a person's a choker, it never changes, right? Right? I mean, if you look at Secretary Kerry, he choked on the Iran deal. He choked. He should have left that room a couple of times, walked away, doubled up the sanctions, and he would have made a much better deal. He never did that. He was afraid to leave the room. He choked. But usually, if you look at it, a choker, we don't want chokers. Do we agree? We don't want chokers. We don't want chokers. When I watched what Chris Christie did to your no-show senator at the debate before last, when Chris grilled him, and Chris endorsed me, by the way, which I love, but Chris Christie, I never saw anything like it. Little Marco's right next to me. And Chris Christie is grilling him like a good prosecutor. And Chris is grilling him, and Marco keeps, uh-oh, we have somebody else. What is it? All right, we need a doctor. A doctor. We have a doctor. A woman fainted. A woman fainted. We love people that faint. And I think it's only faint. Are you okay, darling? Okay. Take your time. Take your time. Those are the people we like the best. She's been here for 7 hours. I love you, darling. Get better. Get better. We'll send you flowers. You're going to be fine. We love you. Those are the people we love, right? Those are great people. They love our country, I will tell you that. So we have a lot of decisions to be made. So now I hear the new way of stopping Trump because they're giving up. Oh, you know what? Those flowers are for me. Here's what I want you to do. Run up and catch that woman and give those flowers to that woman. I love that. How you doing, man? That's nice. That's nice. So, in the Times today and in many other newspapers, they're sort of starting to give up about Trump. If we win Florida, believe me, it's over. If we win, and we're going to win, and you're going to have a great president, and you're going to have a great, great country again, and you're going to feel so proud of your country again, you're not going to be embarrassed with Sergeant Bergdahl. We get Bergdahl, right? We get a dirty, rotten traitor. 6 people, 5 people, probably 6 people died trying to find him. So we get Bergdahl, and they get 5 of the biggest killers that they've been coveting and that they've wanted for years. I call him the 1 for 5 president. That's no trade, folks. We're not going to make deals like that anymore, folks. We don't make deals like that. And, you know, as far as the waterboarding is concerned, we have to stay within the laws. We have to stay within the laws. Hey, who here thinks that ISIS, who chops off heads, who drowns people in a cage, who here thinks that ISIS stays within the laws, right? We're like a bunch of babies, but we're going to stay within the laws. But you know what we're going to do? We're going to have those laws broadened because we're playing with 2 sets of rules. Their rules and our rules. And those laws are going to be broadened. It's embarrassing to see what's happening. We fight, oh, waterboarding is so bad. It's so bad. It's so horrible. Waterboarding is such a terrible thing. Okay, we're going to stay within the law, but we're going to increase it. But think of us. Waterboarding is such a terrible thing. And think back in the Mideast. Now you have ISIS guys sitting around a table celebrating the fact that they just cut off the heads of 30 Christians, right? Do you think they obey the laws? The laws? You know, I told this story, and then some people said it wasn't necessarily true, and then it turned out to be true. But I tell this story. It's a rough story. Should I tell it or not? All right, remember, they asked me to tell it, so it's not my fault. But in the old days, when we were strong and respected, we had a general named General Pershing, very tough cookie. We have, hey, General Patton. How long do you think ISIS would last with the great General George Patton, with the great General Douglas MacArthur? Believe me. But around 1919, they had a problem with Islam. I mean, they had a problem with terrorism, radical Islamic terrorism. Okay? They had a big, big problem. Tremendous atrocities were being committed. And General Pershing and his group were sent out to solve the problem. And they caught 50 terrorists. And they took those terrorists and they stood them up, all 50. And they took the bullets and they cut open 2 pigs. And they dropped the bullets into the pigs. And they took the pig's blood and they splashed it around. And they then took those bullets, they put them in the guns, they shot 49 of the terrorists with the bullets loaded up with pig fat and pig blood, which is not something that, let me explain, not nice, not politically correct. I don't think they'd allow that today. Do you agree? They shot 49 of the 50 terrorists. And the final terrorist, just before he was going to be shot, they went up to him. They said, here, take this bullet. This bullet was meant to you. And he hardly wanted to touch it. Take this bullet. It was meant for you. Go back and tell your people there'll be no more terrorism. For 28 years, there was no more terrorism. For 28 years, there was no more terrorism.